have on my girl power sweater today because today we are going to be doing our book versus movie for Moxie. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel at least twice a week, and then movie reviews or booked movie content here at the weekend, or as it's been recently, booked movie content in the week because there's been so many adaptations coming out. In the description box you will find all of my social links, including my blog and my Goodreads where I post my book reviews, and I will leave a playlist of book versus movie videos linked up above in case that is your thing. I was so excited when I found out that Moxie by Jennifer Mathieu was being adapted into a film with Netflix and Amy Poehler attached. Like, that's all I need to know. This book is one of those books that the adaptation gave me a kick to finally read. I bought this book. It's been on my Kindle since it was released because some of my most trusted UKYA reviewers was like, Katrina, you have to read this book. Katrina, this book's amazing. Katrina, you will like this book. You should read this book next. And I was like, yes, I'll read it. And then, you know, another year would go by and appear on people's lists. So I'd be like, yes, I'll read it. And then, yeah, I waited until the adaptation came out and I actually listened to it on audiobook. So I bought this book on Kindle and on audiobook. So I'm supporting this author. But yes, this adaptation, Jennifer Mathieu wrote this amazing kick-ass book about teens rebelling against the fact that their uniform policy was just to do with girls, the fact that football players get away with basically sexual assault on a daily basis, the fact that there's just different standards that the girls in the school are being held accountable to the boys in the school being held accountable to. And then Amy Poehler came along and directed just like a movie that is on, if not the same level of like kick-ass feminist awesomeness, perhaps even higher. So Amy Poehler does play the mom in the movie, and she says this one line to her daughter that said that she, her rebel group that she formed, that was the inspiration for behind her daughter forming Moxie, was great, but if she could do it again now, she would make it even better, more intersectional. And this is basically what she's done with the film. So the book is can't remember if it's 2015 or 2016, or like it was on that cusp of being one into the other. But yeah, it's amazing and fabulous and takes into account a lot of things, but the film is slightly more intersectional. So we have more intersectional feminism concerning disabled characters, black characters, just every other kind of group you can think of. And the fact that the film also has a female principal, whereas in the book we had a male teacher and a male principal being like the main people in this discrimination, this imbalance between boys and girls. We have a female principal in this one, which highlights the fact that it's not always men and males doing this, you know, enforcing this imbalance. We have females as well. So yeah. As always, 3.5 minutes into the video, there will be no spoilers in this review. And as always, I completely understand that when an author sells her rights to the book, or his rights to the book, or their rights to the book, the filmmakers can do whatever they want with it. But on the whole, we are finding that Netflix are doing a great job with adaptations. They have been like knocking them out and they've just been brilliant, and I talk about loads of recent Netflix adaptations in that playlist, so I'll link a few up above as well in case you've missed any. But yes, the book versus the movie. So some of the similarities and differences, we've already talked about the fact that it's even better because it's now intersectional feminism and not just like straight feminism, just taking into account like girls v boys. So loving that. The casting, I just adored the casting of this one. I love the casting of John in particular, which is the character that Amy Poehler Vivian's mom. Vivian is our main character, and her mom starts, you know, exploring the world of dating again, and John is the recipient of this. And if you are a Marvel fan, you will enjoy the casting of John in this film. He's a tiny character, but that casting just stuck out to me. I love the fact that Amy Poehler cast herself as the mom in this book. She is so believable as Vivian's mom, and I absolutely adored that. In terms of the cast of characters, it's basically the same, apart from the fact that we have a female principal who I just hated. I hated the principal in the book. I hated her even more when she was a female in the film, but you know, great writing there on the screenplay and the book. The only main difference is the fact that in the book we have some grandparents, and they are also a big influence on Vivian, and they kind of like highlight her mom's previous rebel activities, which inspired Vivian to create Moxie. But they are missing in the film. But after the first like few times when I was like, are we going to see the grandparents now? Are we going to not see the grandparents? I completely kind of forgot about them and was just really into the film. So that's a major difference, but I don't think it really affected my enjoyment of the film. Then we have the fact that in the movie, the boys kind of create a list and rank the girls with the sort of qualifiers like most bangable and like best butt and like best boobs in the film, which doesn't appear in the book, but it's basically a replacement of some of the things that the boys do and say in the book, wrapped up slightly more succinctly, because as always we're trying to fit a full-length novel into an 1 3/4 hour length film. So I think it represents everything that the boys do and say in the book by them making this list in the film. There is some content warnings here for sexual assault and rape. It is not on screen or on page, but it is mentioned, and it is dealt with very well both in the book and the film, in my opinion. But take care with that care warning, content warning there for you. Also, you know, going back to the casting just a little bit, the guy that makes the copies of Moxie for Vivian in the book is mentioned, and I like the fact that we get to see him multiple times in the film. However, they've changed his name. The copy guy in the movie is called Frank, and the copy guy in the book is called Ian. I'm like, I wonder why we chose to change that. I wonder what went on there. It's a tiny thing, but it just sticks in my mind. Apparently Siri wants to join in with this conversation, but it just sticks in my mind. It's like, why did we change that guy's name? Because I'm very aware of him being called Ian in the book and then randomly being called Frank in the film. That was interesting. On the whole, I really feel like the film does an excellent job of conveying all the things that the book conveys, but playing it out on screen. Where we have moments where we're inside the characters' heads in the book, we have sort of moments of almost silence, but very quiet moments where we see them acting upon those things, or see them taking in those things, or see them reacting in the film. And so I think it's done really well, where we would have had like a stream of consciousness type of thing from the book, that we see them just taking it all in themselves in the movie. And I just think that it's done really well. We don't need a voiceover. We don't need them having a text conversation with their friends. We can just watch them and watch it play out for them and see how they react. And so I think that that kind of like directorial choice was really good, and how it was kind of written into the screenplay was really good. And I really enjoyed that. The book did make me really mad, of course. If you know me or you've been watching the channel for any length of time, you will know that the book will have made me really mad, particularly because it takes place in a school. And, you know, having worked in schools my whole life, I'm like, no, this should not be happening. No, I'm so mad. Thankfully I listened to a lot of it in the gym, so I was just like, let's put another bit of weight on this machine right now. Let's go for another 5 minutes on this bike really fast. However, the film made me even more mad, and I was watching it with my mum, and it was making her mad too, and so I think that it has done an excellent job and been an excellent adaptation. There is one moment in the film that is just too true to life. I mean, the whole book and the whole film is so true to life, and I hate that it's happening, and it makes me so mad. But there's a moment where this list that is published is shown to the head teacher, and the head teacher goes, "Oh no, that's social media. I don't understand that. We don't do that." And that is way too true to life. If you know, if issues have come up on social media in previous schools that I have worked in, there have been a handful of people that have been like, "Oh no, that's social media. We don't understand that. I don't know what's going on with that." I'm like, no. Thankfully, I feel like that is getting a lot better because of a lot of teaching going online and social media being essential to some people's jobs. But that moment, I was like, no, that's too real. That's so terrible. And, you know, again, I really hope that I can be part of the solution to that. I really hope that. Anyway, also in the movie, I did cheer multiple times. So let me know in the comments if you've seen the movie. Did you do some cheering? Did you get mad? Did you do some booing and cheering? Let me know. Mean Girls gets a quick mention. So that's kind of a Amy Poehler giving a nod to her friend Tina Fey there. I like that bit as well. But overall, yes, the book, the adaptation of the book is so similar to the book and has that same feeling, and I don't feel like anything has been lost in translation. If you love the book, you're going to love the film. If you haven't read the book, you're still going to love the film. It's an awesome film. Feels like a classic teen film, but with all this like intersectional feminism and awareness of all this shit that's taking place that shouldn't be happening, and you know, people actually doing something about it. So I really loved it. You know, you can tell I'm buzzing off the back of having just watched this film. Really recommend it. Loved the book. The audio was great. Loved the film. The casting was brilliant. It stayed true to the book. Both are amazing. It's International Women's Day as I'm filming this, so I'm so pleased I watched it today. It would be a great addition to your Women's History Month reading, watching, listening, however you want to consume this. Highly recommend. As always, let me know in comments, have you watched this? What did you think? Are there any other adaptations that are not on my radar that I need to be reading and watching and bringing a book versus movie to you here? Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed because I do have some more adaptations and book versus movie videos coming up for you. I also have a live show coming up on Thursday, so hit that notification bell so you do not miss out on that, because we are going to be talking all things Christina Lauren on Thursday, and I will be back with more movie reviews for you at the weekend. So I will see you then. Thanks for watching.